right, we're going to look at day 111. This is the first day on writing numerical expressions. So we're translating between verbal phrases and numerical expressions. We're just using numbers. There's no algebra here. So we're going to start, like, the kids have actually been doing this for a really long time. The only difference today is that we're going to have, like, multiple step equations. So, like, adding and then dividing, or subtracting and then multiplying. The kids, like, ever since kids have started solving word problems, they've been writing expressions. So we're going to start with this right pair share. Maya divides our candy into 3 bags. She then gives 2 pieces from 1 bag to a friend. Like in this story about Maya, what happened first? Well, she divided it 3 ways. So what operation would we use? We would use division. What happens next? She gives 2 pieces away. And so what operation is that? Well, that's subtraction. And then we have students do a table first before we even dig into the lesson. Like, what are some of the words that mean add, subtract, multiply, or divide? I would suggest giving kids like 30 seconds here first. Like, go ahead and write down as many words as you know that mean addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And then after 30 seconds, pause them and say, like, great, we're going to put like all of our lists together. If you had a word that was in the wrong spot, go ahead and change it now, right? And so then we write sum, increased, more than, subtract, decreased, less than, and then all the words for multiplication and division. Here I put more than in addition rather than in subtraction, because like here I'm thinking like 5 more than 2 is 7, right? And that's more of like the expression. When we start to think about expressions, when we start to think about like subtraction, we start to think about like how much more is 7 than 5. That is more of an equation, which we're not doing today. However, if you want to put more in both addition and subtraction, that's fine. One that I didn't include here was each. You could also put each in both multiplication and division for that same reason. Sometimes each means multiply, and sometimes it means divide. All right, so looking here, first we're going to see, like, well, what operations do we see in this mathematical equation? Well, I see division inside the parentheses, and then I also see some multiplication. And so when I look at my answer choices, I should be seeing division of 42 and 6, and I should also see some multiplication of 5 times whatever that quotient was. And so I'm looking through and I'm like doing a model, like a think aloud for each one of these answer choices. So for A, I see 5 times 42 groups of 6. Well, 42 groups of 6 means that I'm multiplying. That looks like this: 5 times 42 groups of 6, and that is not what I have in this expression. Okay, so let's look at the next one. 5 more than 42 divided by 6. Well, they got it right with the 42 divided by 6. Here I see that in the parentheses, but they're saying 5 more than, and more than is an addition, right? We're adding 5 to that. So that's also not what I had up here. 5 times as large as 42 divided by 6. Yep, that is actually exactly what we have up here. Let's just check to be sure. Let's look at answer D. 5 groups of 42 divided by 5 groups of 6. 5 groups of 42 divided by 5 groups of 6. That is not what we have up here. Okay. Let's look at this next one. That's so interesting too. You could have also had 5 groups of 42, 5 times 42, then divide by 5 times 6. This could actually be read 2 different ways. Okay. So example 2, here again, we're going to be making, here again, you're going to identify like which operation is happening in this expression. So I underline this and write the expression below, or the mathematical like operation below. You can also write the mathematical operation above. Ahmad is 8 years old. His sister Taishay is 4 years less than. Ooh, I'm hearing 4 years less than, and so I know that that means I'm going to be subtracting 4, twice his age. So twice his age means times 2. And then first ask yourself what operations are happening. Well, I see both subtraction, I'm subtracting 4, and I'm seeing multiplication, I'm multiplying by 2. So I'm going to start with multiplying 2 times 8. Ahmad is 8 years old. His sister Taishay is 4 years less than, twice his age. So I'm going to start by multiplying 8 times 2 and then subtracting 4. All right, there are multiple different ways you could write this. If you had wanted to write it in parentheses, that would have worked too. Same thing here, we want to say double 5. So double would be times 2. I would actually have you write times 2 above the word double and then add 26, so plus 26. Any of these work. There are also other correct answers for 2 times 5 plus 26.